file 23168N8. All right, we are back on the record. Ms. Sidorf asked us for a brief recess. Are you ready to resume cross-examination on Ms. Gavin?
Thank you.
Ms. Gavin, I just want to remind you, you do remain under oath.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Gavin, if you heard that a March 11th, 2024 psychological evaluation of the mother, Carla Collier, was done during this case, and that the diagnostic impression regarding parenting was that there is no direct evidence she will become physically abusive in a parenting situation. She is, although unlikely to admit problems and difficulties if she views it as affecting her ability to get her child back. Her history reveals a vulnerability to negative relationships and impulsive decision-making patterns. Despite this, she is willing to engage in services and wants to be a good parent. Would that change your opinion as to any possible harm that might come to this child if returned to her mother, Carla Collier?
That would change my opinion if she participated.
Okay, and what I read to you there, does that also, not regarding participating, that's not the same question, but what I read you about her basically likelihood of causing physical harm, correct? If you were to read the trauma investigation about the child, Uta Collier, that was done on, I believe, January 9th of 2024 for this case, and that the child showed a strength in the attachment/relationships area of her development that says this is the result of the child's strong, healthy relationships. A baby learns to feel good about himself and trust people by the way he is taken care of. This strength is also the key to how the child feels about himself. It opens him up to try new things and look to others for friendship or help. Scores in the strength range indicate that a child is showing many positive behaviors in this area, and we should continue to encourage these behaviors.
What was your question?
My question is, does that, when that happened before the child was removed from Ms. Collier, I'm trying to find the basis, the causal basis of your statement that it is, you have concerns that the child would be likely to receive physical or emotional harm if returned to her mother. So why are you saying that?
Probably because I only read the report of non-participation.
Okay, so you read a report of non-participation of the mom, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And you haven't, we've already asked you that, you haven't read those. Do you know how old Uta, the child, is?
I believe she's about 4.
She is 6 years old, 7 in November. Would that change your opinion?
No, I don't believe in what age she is.
Okay. How many other children are in the foster family that she is living with currently?
I don't know.
If there are 3 other children in that foster family outside of Uta, and her mother does not have any other children living with her, does that change your opinion in terms of what's best for the child?
No.
Can you define what active efforts are under the ICWA law? Do you know what those are?
Reuniting parents with their children. If that's not possible, reuniting with family.
Are you aware that Carla Collier, living in Anchorage, Alaska, has access to the Native Hospital there that has a program for pediatrics that Uta could be seen at if she lived there with her mother?
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay. Does that change your opinion about her being better in place of the foster care family that you don't know where they live versus where mother lives?
I don't know how to answer that.
You testified earlier that you thought the child had been removed from her mother for a couple of years. I thought you said maybe 2 years. Do you know if that's accurate?
I don't have the file in front of me.
Okay.
And all the reports that you are reading from may be missing from the file that I read. So
So you don't know if those even exist in your file?
I haven't really gone through all the files that the previous ICWA coordinator had. So he might have misfiled them.
The removal of the child, if it happened in around March 21st of 2025, how long would that mean that the child, if she's not been reunited, how long would that mean the child has been outside of her mother's care?
No, I'm gonna just object. That's factually inaccurate as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is the petition? I'm sorry. I'm getting it mixed up. All right, never mind. I'm sorry. I withdraw that question. My timeline brain got. Pardon me. She's been removed since September 23. Is that right? She's been removed since September 1st of 2023. And you have been saying that what's important to you is mom's participation, correct?
Yes.
With the child? And that if the mother was not allowed to participate directly with the child, then that changes your feeling about mom's ability to parent of the best interest of the child for your testimony. Right?
My opinion is based on what I read.
What conditions currently in Carla Collier's home cause you to have concerns for the child's physical safety or well-being, emotional well-being?
Having a stable home.
Okay, and you defined a stable home earlier in your culture as within 6 months or so of being in the same general place, is that right?
That was my opinion.
Okay, so if she's been in the same home and hasn't had any issues with that for 6 months, would you say that that no longer exists?
Having a report of the condition of the home would help.
Right? But if she lived in an apartment on her own, not with other people, and she lived there for that amount of time, that would be in her favor, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anything other than the stability of her home that causes you your concern in your opinion, because it has to be linked to a specific condition. So is there anything else that causes you to form your opinion about the child being likely to receive physical or emotional harm if returned to the mother?
Only on the medical side.
Can you clarify more for me what you specifically are saying? What on the medical side? What condition still exists regarding the mother?
I don't know what conditions still exist, but from the report that I read earlier, in the beginning, she had a disorder that needed medical treatment, and that medical treatment wasn't provided.
Do you know when that alleged to have
I
happened?
can't tell you the date because I don't have the file in front of me.
Do you know what state that's alleged to have happened in?
In the beginning, when she was removed from her mother.
In this case,
Yes,
do you know if there have been any other issues with medication?
I haven't seen any reports on that.
In your culture, in your tribe, you said that everybody takes care of each other, correct?
Yes,
So if you had a parent, hypothetically, who did not have stable housing but had a child, what would you do to try to fix that in your culture?
in our
What's an
community,
appropriate
we have
response?
in our community we have family close by.
So in your
And
opinion, is it best for the child to be nearer to the family that she lived with while that issue is being worked on?
if she has family close by, that's
Okay.
what my opinion would be.
And in your community, have you ever come across parents who have their own trauma from past issues, such as sexual abuse, drug abuse, anything? For example, that they have their own trauma issue, which may, in some respects, affect their parenting at times. Have you ever seen that before?
I'm new to this position.
Okay.
And
As a member of the tribe, have you ever seen that situation happen before?
with trauma,
With a parent having their own trauma that may cause them some problems while they also have a child in their care?
I would say no. I haven't
You've
seen
never
that.
seen that? Okay, so you're not qualified, you don't know how the tribe handles that?
No,
Are you aware that Carla Collier doesn't have any reported issues of alcohol or substance abuse?
I'm not aware.
Okay, so you didn't know that?
No.
Just one moment, Judge. Just a few more questions. In your culture, if a parent has their own medical issue, for example, they need surgery or something, okay, and it affects their ability to participate in a lot of different activities for a number of months, is that something in your tribe you've ever seen as a parent have?
If that were to happen, family usually steps in to help out.
Okay, and if there wasn't family to step in to help out, what would be the next reasonable reaction from the tribe?
I don't know.
Don't have anything further, Judge.
Mr. Howard, questions?
No, Your Honor.
Redirect or any other questions? I should just say Ms. Stouts.
One moment here, sorry. No, Your Honor, no further questions.
Okay, thank you for your time and your testimony, Ms. Gavin. Did you have anybody else you wished us to hear from by way of rebuttal witnesses or anything else, Ms. Thomas?
Not this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Sedor? Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor.
Comments in closing, beginning with Ms. Thomas?
Your Honor, I would actually request the court to accept closing by written statement, given the nature of the case with all of the equal requirements. If we were there, I'm happy to do it verbally. I just feel that it would be better suited for the record if we were able to set closing in writing.
Ms. Fedora, would you prefer to give us your closing orally today or by in writing?
I have no objection to in writing, that's fine. It's a long couple of days of testimony.
Mr. Howitt?
Your Honor, I'd be in favor of submitting in writing as well.
Very well. How long would you like in order to complete that assignment to Ms. Thomas?
And I think it'd be reasonable to request our arguments be filed within 7 days.
I can do that. Mr. Howitt?
I would just ask by the end of next week, so this.
Well, let's round it off and say by August 31st. I'm sorry, file it as soon as September 1st. So that's a Monday. So closings, I would like them by September 1st.
And then, Your Honor, would you then rule via writing, or would you have us back in court? I don't know if there's another review date we have to set or what's.
I suppose some of that will depend on what I receive in closings. So what I would be inclined to do is I'm going to set another review just to keep the case on track regardless of what happens moving forward. So that we're able to make sure that the case stays active. I'm looking at Monday, November 17th at 1:30 p.m. I think there's a time change for you, Ms. Gavin, but that would be 1:30 our time. All right. All prior orders will remain in full force and effect pending the reception of those results. You would also be inclined to issue a review order based on the information that I've received today. Any objections to that?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, very well. So the court will take the information I have here under advisement. I'll cut a review order, permanency planning order, and have that to you relatively quickly. And that will also document our next review and permanency planning hearing November 17th at 1:30 p.m. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Just one more request on behalf of Carla Collier. Would she be able to have telephone contact with her daughter at all?
Ms. Thomas? There was a suspension of parenting time issued at or around the time the petition for termination of parental rights was filed. Generally speaking, I would be inclined to extend that unless you have any opinion that would be different than that. Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor, I would wait until the conclusion of the trial before the changes made.
Ms. Thomas, any other comments?
Your Honor, I wanted to ensure that the child was still in therapy should the court rule otherwise. But at this time, this court had ordered the department to file that termination petition based on mom's lack of engagement and lack of progress. We've also alleged that she's abandoned the child. I think that adding any contact would further confuse the child and cause some emotional and psychological harm. However, if the court is going to allow that contact, we would just ask it be dependent on the child's therapist recommendations.
Just to briefly review the file on those points, the court received the file back from Judge Costello at the end of 2024, at which time parenting time was essentially at the discretion of the department. At the first hearing in January of 2025, Ms. Collier did not appear. There had been no progress made on services. She had not had contact with the child, and the department was ordered to commence the petition to terminate parental rights. And as a result of that, actually, in January, she did have supervised contact allowed by court order. And the petition was filed March 21st, 2025. Collier was unable to be located. We were even looking at an order for alternative services at that point, continuing the absence from services, contact with the department, as well as from the child's life. We had, of course, the appearance of Ms. Sador, Carla Collier back again in April. So based on the history of the disappearance of the parent, disengagement with the department, and the pending termination petition, as well as the historical and current challenges and behaviors that the child is experiencing, I can't find that it would serve her best interests to allow parenting time despite the directives generally to suspend pending resolution on a petition for termination for all rights. Also, the extensive absence from Ms. Collier from her child's life, which is another reason the court has to consider, and the mental health of the child. It would not be in her interest to challenge that, given the challenges that she's already undertaking. So for those reasons, I'm going to deny the request to re-engage with parenting time. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for coming. We'll look forward to those comments, and I'll see you all in November.